Review copy provided by PlayStation.
Looks pretty good, right? That's because I helped save it once. Well, Knack and I saved it.
When the world was introduced to the PlayStation 4, the first title we ever saw was a new IP called Knack from lead system architect Mark Cerny. First reactions were a mix of hope and skepticism, but upon its release, the reception was tepid. It would have been easy for Knack to have fallen into obscurity as just another forgettable launch game. But now, 4 years later, Knack is back to give it another shot.
He can do anything.
Knack 2 is set sometime after the original game. The city of New Haven is under attack by an army of robots, and it's up to the celebrated hero Knack and his companion Lucas to defend it. Things don't go well, and before the battle concludes, a flashback occurs, showing the player how it all began 6 months earlier.
Is this the place, Lucas?
Yeah, just up ahead.
All right, sit tight. I'll take her down.
Throughout the 10-hour campaign, you'll learn about an ancient order of monks, 2 factions of goblins, and a plan to build Titan robots that can destroy humanity. In the middle of it all are Knack, Lucas, and a handful of supporting characters, some of which returned from the previous adventure. While the story isn't awful, it fails to give compelling reasons to care about the titular hero or his sidekick. It's told in a way that overemphasizes Knack's role, making him seem more important than he actually is. Additionally, Lucas is trying to find his purpose in the world, which should make for an interesting dynamic between him and Knack, but their on-screen chemistry is practically non-existent. The linear environments you explore are one of Knack 2's strengths. From urban cities to dense jungles, the variety of locations ensures you're always looking at something new. Knack's trademark ability to greatly increase his size by absorbing relic parts returns. These parts are scattered throughout each stage, and with the press of a button, you can seamlessly transition between small and large forms, which drastically changes the perspective and traversal of each environment. Small Knack can go inside air ducts, crevices in walls, and other gizmos, while large Knack can destroy nearly everything in his path. Transitioning between small and large usually revolves around pushing boxes or shrinking down to slip through a passageway, but it rarely becomes tedious thanks to constantly shifting locations and platforming that gets steadily more challenging. Combat is simple but engaging. Knack can unleash basic combos, dodge, block, and parry projectiles. As the game progresses, more skills unlock at an even pace, and enemies become deadlier, forcing you to adapt. Knack's size also has an effect on combat scenarios, as enemies quickly destroy small Knack in 1 or 2 hits, while large Knack can return the favor. On the normal difficulty setting, it's easy to die if you get careless, but checkpoints are constant and generous. Goblins and robots are the main antagonists, but they change their attacks and abilities enough to prevent encounters from becoming stale. Defeating enemies or finding storage containers nets you relic energy to upgrade Knack's combat abilities. There are 4 separate skill paths that unlock as you fill the board, ranging from increased damage and attack speed to entirely new moves like the multi-punch. These skills make Knack noticeably stronger in combat, which adds extra incentive to explore. It also helps keep combat fresh, as new enemy types learn advanced moves along with Knack, often forcing you to use multiple techniques to deal with tricky opponents.
Ice is nice.
At a few key moments in the game, Knack can fuse with special elements. Ice grants you the ability to freeze enemies in place, as well as certain gears and switches. Iron Knack has brute strength and can connect electrical pads together, while Stealth Knack can freely pass through laser fields. Each of these special powers adds further variety to the proceedings. Some of the cleverest puzzles in the game revolve around manipulating these powers, and while they are slightly underutilized, they're always a blast to use. Hidden treasure chests contain gadget components that can add different gameplay modifiers once constructed. The teleporter can save Knack after a fatal fall, while the Sunstone bomb can stun enemies. Some of these gadgets are more valuable than others, but finding them always feels rewarding, especially as some chests are hidden quite well. Another player can join in to play co-op at any time, and it isn't just a tacked-on feature, as players can team up to unleash a variety of co-op attacks. Even when the emphasis is on traversal and exploration, it's easy to stay with your partner thanks to the warp mechanic. This helps players of all skill levels play together and have a good time. If one player is better than the other, they can simply lead the way and never feel hamstrung by their partner. Visually, Knack 2 is a colorful game. PlayStation 4 Pro users can enable HDR and have the option to either use higher quality visuals or stick with 1080p for a higher frame rate. Both alternatives look good, and the high frame rate is generally consistent, except for a few occasional moments of slowdown. Knack 2 is an improvement on the original in nearly every way. Constantly changing enemies and environments, a sizable set of abilities, and seamless co-op are hindered by a mediocre story that's hard to invest in. Still, it's safe to say that Knack has been redeemed. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to see our other videos. And consider becoming a patron to help us make more.
Goblins can use guns now?
Where did they get those from?
Review copy provided by PlayStation.